As always, we will start with a brief overview of Tesla Gigafactory construction all around the world. Then we of course have to talk about the insane rampage of the Tesla stock as we come to our main topic today, the quite surprisingly amazing new details on the Lucid Air and the Lucid SUV. Could Lucid actually beat Tesla in some regards?
Then we'll also talk about production start of the VW ID.4, about the interview Sean Mitchell did with the CEO of Nikola, about a new paper underscoring the benefits of electric cars compared to gasoline cars, and about a really interesting eVTOL which could be used for emergency medical service. A lot to talk about as always, so stay tuned.
So let's start with Giga Berlin. Giga Berlin is progressing so fast that it's being called a role model for construction by some German politicians who hope that this will have a positive signaling effect to the other construction projects in Germany. We were also extremely surprised by the fast construction speed at Giga Berlin, since we have first-hand experience with German bureaucracy. What Tesla managed to pull off here is nothing short of a miracle. You can see in these latest shots from Tobias Lind that the drive unit building is now almost completely covered with roof and will soon also be completely surrounded by concrete walls. The paint shop structure looks completely finished, and work on the main assembly building has already started. This is truly incredible. And equally incredible is the construction progress at Giga Texas near Austin. In the latest shot by Joel Techtmeyer, you can see that almost all ponds are drained now. Soon the entire site at Giga Texas will be level and completely dry. Incredibly, you can see more and more pile drivers amassing, and foundation layers are already being laid out to soon start applying the concrete layers. It looks as if this is moving along even faster than Giga Berlin. And at Giga Shanghai, as much of the outside work is being completed, we cannot see much progress here anymore. Most of the work is now taking place inside the Model Y factory. Hopefully someone will record some videos of the inside of this new factory building soon.
And because Tesla is expanding on all fronts like crazy, the stock of course also keeps climbing like crazy. Everyone is hoping for a correction to buy in cheaply, but this beast just keeps on climbing, recently even surpassing the $2,000 mark, which will correspond to $400 after the 5-to-1 stock split that was announced last week. So many shorters got brutally burned by this stock. Poor shorters, like literally poor in the sense that they are now broke. We wonder what people like Jim Chanos or Mark Spiegel are doing now. They embarrassed themselves multiple times by publicly saying that Tesla would go to zero and utter nonsense like this. We have to say we're not sorry for them. People who are so short-sighted, nay, evil-minded actually, who wish for a company to go bankrupt, which actually wants to make the world a better place, deserve to get brutally burned by Tesla. It's really pathetic. Every hobby investor was seeing that Tesla would brutally rise one day, yet those so-called pros failed to see it. And the competition is still years behind Tesla, except for one company maybe. We're of course talking about Lucid.
We should remain skeptical when talking about companies that announce stuff, but don't have any production vehicles to show for yet. But we have to say that if Lucid actually manages to deliver the stuff they are announcing, Lucid could turn out to be the first real challenger to Tesla. Last week, it was revealed that the first EPA range estimation of the Lucid Air achieved an astounding projected range of 517 miles. This of course remains to be verified with real-world range tests. But still, it's really impressive. Also impressive are these spy shots by Hawk from the lucidowners.com forum. He shows the production version of the Lucid Air, and surprise, it looks exactly like the concept car version. This is how it's done. Legacy car makers, look here! An awesome looking concept car is introduced. And then you can actually buy this car in production form, looking exactly like it was announced. Not like some legacy car makers who show cool concept cars, and then you can only buy the most boring looking cars ever. But not only that, the Lucid SUV was also present, and Hawk managed to make some snapshots of this SUV as well. While you cannot see the front, we can already guess how massive this SUV is, and the design promises equally futuristic features as the Lucid Air. And if you are surprised that on this channel here, we not only cover spaceflight and space exploration topics, but also electric cars, air taxis, and sometimes even Hyperloop, please consider subscribing to us. It will really help this channel to grow. And you can even vote on the topic for our Friday videos.
Back to Lucid, the reveal of the production version of the Lucid Air is, by the way, set for the 9th of September. But Lucid has also revealed last week that the car would charge with 350 kilowatts. That's right, this is a speed of 300 miles recharge in 20 minutes, enabled by its 900-volt architecture. That is quite impressive. And not only that, it will also feature vehicle-to-grid capability and even vehicle-to-vehicle charging. And this here is a picture of the Lucid wall charger. But how is Lucid even able to pull this off? Well, the CEO of Lucid is none other than Peter Rawlinson, who had been chief engineer on the Tesla Model S in the early days until he left Tesla for Lucid in 2013. So this is why Lucid could actually deliver the first real Tesla Model S competitor, and with the SUV maybe even also a Model X competitor. Because the CEO actually for a change knows what he's doing. Now, even though we have to say we are not too happy about the fact that the bulk of Lucid's money comes from a Saudi Arabia investment fund, we still have to say that we wish them success. Because Tesla never had any kind of competition. Imagine what Tesla would do if for the first time ever they would feel challenged. Elon would see this as a strong incentive to produce even more insane cars. And we think that we will be in for quite a few surprises on Tesla's upcoming Battery Day on the 22nd of September. There we suspect that Tesla will show a pretty brutal answer to the latest Lucid revelations. In other news, VW is starting with the production of the ID.4 in Zwickau, Germany, which will be their answer to the Model Y. It will be the SUV variant of their ID model family and will be launched in 2021. Around the same time, the Model Y will start being produced at Giga Berlin. This will be an interesting battle to watch.
Then Sean Mitchell, who is known in the sphere of electric cars, managed to do an interview with Trevor Milton, the CEO of Nikola. And apparently Sean was positively surprised to find that Nikola actually had two working prototypes of their pickup truck, the Nikola Badger. Also, according to Sean, Nikola has managed to sign a deal with a large car manufacturer to produce the Badger. If this is true, consider us surprised. We were making fun of Nikola for having only vaporware products, but if they can actually manage to pull it off, we'd be happy, of course. We'd be happy to be wrong, so to speak. Although we have to say, we still don't like and never will like hydrogen for passenger cars. For large vehicles like their trucks, okay. But still, hydrogen just has many losses and inefficiencies as compared to battery electric vehicles. We would be much more positive on Nikola if they choose to produce battery-powered electric cars and trucks.
And astoundingly, still actually many people believe the BS that has been put out there by the oil and gas industry to slow down EV adoption. One big myth is that electric cars actually produce as much pollution as gasoline cars, nay, maybe even more, because according to that BS theory, production of EVs emits much more CO2 than production of gasoline cars. Well, we are very sure that those people certainly haven't read Tesla's latest environmental impact report, where they show that they now actually reached CO2 parity with gasoline car production and will soon be even lower. And even when you charge an EV in the current American energy mix, an EV still emits a lot less CO2 over its entire lifetime than a gasoline car. But this is not only about CO2. You know, those funny gasoline lovers, who apparently also love stuff like this here, also forget that good old gasoline and diesel cars actually emit harmful pollutants like sulfur dioxide, but also particulate matter. These particles, around 2.5 micrometers across or smaller, are emitted in combustion processes such as in the internal combustion engines. A new paper, link in the description, has now analyzed scenarios what would happen if 25 or 75% of all gasoline and diesel cars on the road would be replaced by electric cars. They came to the quite surprising conclusion that even with an energy grid that would be dirtier than today's energy grid, replacing 25% of cars with EVs would result in 360 fewer premature deaths per year caused by air pollution. And in the case of 75% replacement and a cleaner grid, this number would climb to 2,900 fewer deaths per year caused by air pollution. This impressively shows that switching to EVs will not only benefit the climate, but also the overall health of the population.
Regarding air taxis, Urban Aeronautics Ltd. from Israel has signed a memorandum of understanding with the US-based Tesla Air to develop, produce and market its CityHawk aircraft for emergency medical services. This vertical takeoff and landing vehicle will probably be hydrogen powered, and a medical use case is of course perfect for such a VTOL. A VTOL could reach more difficult to access areas much more easily than, for example, current-day emergency medical helicopters. So now they are planning on building 800 CityHawks to be ready within 3 to 5 years. We think this is awesome. Not only will we have VTOLs as personal transportation and for firefighting, but no, now even for emergency medical service. The only thing missing now are the flying cop cars from the Fifth Element. But as things are progressing now, we believe that it won't be long until they will also be realized.
And if you missed the last week's disruption report, you can watch it right here.
So thanks for watching the show again, and I would say, to the future.
Which one? With which one do we start?
It's recording already?
Yes.
Can you see if you missed the last week's disruption report?
I would. And if you